Hello world. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about my why for why I want to do the spiritual coaching. First off, I want to let you all know I was baptized, raised, and educated in the Catholic way. Religion has not been bad for me. My religion has actually been very good to me. It is the way that people choose to use religions that I feel are generally the negative when it comes to religions on things. It's not the religion itself that's necessarily bad, but the way that people use them, the way they use their religion for their own entitlement purposes. And I've seen that definitely within my own family because of being in the Catholic way, being brought up that way, being from a mother that was not married. She was definitely shunned by the family in so many ways. However, her being shunned also caused me to be shunned when it wasn't my sin per se, based off of the Catholic way, that caused my need for my family to feel that I needed to be shunned. And it is basically based off the family in which the name that I carry that did that sort of thing with things. And sadly, unfortunately, when I brought it up to my mom in some way, she just, well, they did it to me too. I get that, but it's not fair that the one that was birthed from that is also getting the same thing. Again, shame on the people using their religion for those sorts of things. It's not necessarily the religion's fault. Religions are basically just a great way to honor God, or however you might want to call the higher power, Allah, Great Spirit, Jehovah, so many other names, so many names. So, being brought up in a Catholic way, when I was about 11, 12 years old, we had moved to Vegas, my mother and I. Actually, there was another person involved with that whole move as well. But we had moved to Vegas, and in class, at one point, people were talking about God. And I thought, oh, cool, you believe in God. You must be Catholic too. And I was in about 6th grade. I was in 6th grade at the time, and of course, the kids kind of laughed at me. They thought I was joking. They seriously did think I was joking. I didn't know any better. I really did not know any better. I thought to believe in God meant that you were Catholic. I just thought that was the term of it. So they laughed at me, and then they realized that I was not joking. I was very serious. I was just extremely naive and didn't know any better. So they all told me their religions, what religions they were in, and I was fascinated, absolutely fascinated. So in 6th grade, I actually became very, very fascinated in religions, period, all the way around. And then by the time I got older and learning more about people and such like that, I actually got to a point of learning what people believed. And that was very, very interesting as well in and of itself because, again, not everybody calls it God. Then there's the people that are atheists. The true atheists truly are just basically against religion and how people use religion. They still believe in something, believe it or not, even if it is just a simple something that God created, being all of humanity in so many ways, even Satanists, being truly, they are atheists in so many ways. They don't believe in a name person per God, but they still believe in humanity in so many ways. If you actually know any Satanists, you would actually know that as well. I've actually been able to, since 6th grade, kind of opened up my eyes and my mind on religion and such like that. I've been very blessed to be able to get to know people and have them tell me what they believe. And of course, that was a question that I would ask people for a long time too, in my late teenage years, early 20s and such like that. What do you believe? One of my favorite answers was, I believe in myself. I still loved that answer. That is probably one of the best answers I heard the whole time. So I got to find many ways of God, how people believe in God and what their ideal of God is. And of course, I have a friend that from high school, we have the same birth date, and she is an atheist. And she likes to tear apart religion, especially the Bible, which is fun in so many ways. I did that for a minute myself after I read it the second time around too. And she still believes in humanity. She's very much a humanist. Totally forgot where I was going with that. The wind blew and it changed my mind. Oh yes, one question she had asked about on one of her questions, just random questions that she asks about, was about God, period, and why do you believe in God and such like that, or how do you make your decisions based off of who God is. And to be honest, I made my decision based off of who God is, based off of what people told me. I got to learn who God is through the people, what they said, their idea of God is. And quite honestly, no matter the religion, again, whether you are atheist, you are of some sort of Christian denomination or Jewish denomination or Muslim, if you are still of the native ways and you have been able to keep the native ways, again, no matter how you call the higher power, whether you call it Great Spirit, you call it the universe, you call it divine, you call it God, again, Allah, Jehovah, however you call that greater power, everybody has the same idea pretty much when it comes down to what that greater power is, regardless of how they look at it. Some people, I think, are just still kind of really trying to search for it. Some people are still trying to figure out how to communicate with it. So again, that is very much my why, because I have my whole life been very, very blessed with knowing God in some way, whether it be I call it God or universe or spirit, divine, however it might be. My favorite one now, the Great Spirit has always been the romanced one for me, but my favorite one right now is the Great Mystery. I kind of like that one. That's kind of the one I kind of like right now. Divine is always very, very, very nice as well. But I have been able to move past believing and know of the greater power, in which is inside of myself. And in that one, I do say it is love and it is life, because first off, you have to have a life to be able to make that decision. You have to have life to have a brain to even think to go. So my first thought of it, my highest part of my power is life, and the second part is love. While some people say the opposite of love is hate, that's for those that decide to have that in their vocabulary. I do not use that term. But the opposite of love truly is fear, and I would rather live in love than fear. So that is where I'm at. That is a little bit about my why. We'll go more in depth in it as time goes on, and I enjoy sharing this with you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Again, have fun, be safe, and get healthy.